Today we're making Mama's Halo eggs. But before that, happy Mother's Day to all you beautiful mothers out there. And especially to our mama, Mama Neela. We love you so much. We miss you. And we hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day. And also check out the video at the end that we have dedicated to you and all the beautiful love that your family shares for you. Hugs and kisses, Mama. And we hope to see you soon. Mwah! Welcome back to Cooking with Kayla D. I'm Kayla, and this is my husband Randy. My disclaimer. If you haven't done so, please like, subscribe, and remember to hit those notification bells so you get all the latest episodes as they release. For today's ingredients, this will make 20. You will need 10 hard-boiled eggs, 3 tablespoons of Miracle Whip, 3/4 teaspoons of yellow mustard, 2 to 3 teaspoons of sugar, and also 1/4 teaspoon of paprika to garnish, and that is optional. And also the ingredients are not precise ingredients for the measurements because you will do them to taste, but we will get into that during the video. Now we call them Halo eggs because they're actually sweet instead of dill. So first you're going to get your eggs out. I cheated. I got a bag of hard-boiled eggs from the local market. However, if you want to cook your eggs and peel them, you're more than welcome to. Go ahead and make your own hard-boiled eggs. And of course, if you do 12 eggs, you're going to end up with 24. So that gives you your kind of measurements. Just multiply however many eggs you're cooking times 2. So mine actually came in a bag already ready, so I have to dry mine off before I can get to doing this. So now that I have my eggs dried off and my station clean again, it is time to get these eggs cut and those yolks out. Now, when I did this video, this is how I was doing my eggs, and I ended up using a spoon to not break them. But recently, I have learned a new method of cutting eggs, and when I make another egg recipe I will show you how to do that. But just to be sweet and nice, I'm going to leave a link in the description area to show you how to cut in a hard-boiled egg where that yolk does not get cut in half, and it actually is quite easy to remove it from the egg, and then you don't have a chance of actually breaking the white part of your egg. But for now, we're going to continue making this recipe. So you're going to go ahead and continue to take the yolks out of your eggs as carefully as you can without breaking their white part or splitting it. If you do, no big deal. When you refill them, it kind of comes back together, so it's not a big deal. But you go ahead and continue to remove your yolks and get those into a bowl. Another thing too, I didn't use a blender to do mine, and I wish I had of now, because when I mashed my eggs up, they were still in tiny little chunks. So to get it smooth, I would say to use like a mini food processor or an immerser blender or something to where you can really mush those egg yolks up. I just use the back of my spoon, and I've used a fork in the past, and it never does it quite as smooth. So if you want it nice and silky and smooth, I definitely recommend to do that with your egg yolks. But it still turned out quite fabulous, I might say so myself. Not exactly like Mama's eggs, but good enough. So now is where you're going to add in your Miracle Whip. And I usually add it in step by step because you want to make sure that it tastes right to what you and your family are going to like. So Mama taught me this. You put a little bit of your Miracle Whip in there and a little bit of the mustard, and you start mixing until you get the right consistency. So you go little by little, and I put down the measurements of what I actually used for 10 eggs to get it to the proper consistency. And the same goes with your sugar. When you add it, you're going to add a little at a time until you get it to the right sweetness you want. It's almost going to have like that sweet egg salad sandwich type sweetness and taste to it, and it's absolutely delicious. I never had sweet deviled eggs before, And they're actually so good that I have not had regular deviled eggs in a very long time. It's been a few years. After Mama had these ones, that was it. I was sold. So we switched over. So we just use Mama's egg recipe now. But you just continue to add in your desired amounts of your sugar, your Miracle Whip, and your mustard until you get it to taste like you would want it. Once you do and you've got it whisked in and it's pretty smooth, you go ahead and get a Ziploc bag or a piping bag, and you can go ahead and fill your egg mixture into it, and then go ahead and pipe them out into your eggs so they're pretty. You can also just use a spoon and just fill them up that way if that's what you like. Whatever is better for you. Everyone has their own way of doing things. I'm just using a Ziploc because I ain't real fancy. I think that's about as fancy as I'm getting. Another thing too, the paprika is also optional. You don't have to do it. I've seen some people also garnish with chives. Well, they'll cut fresh chives over the top or parsley. So it just depends on what you're into. I know there's so many different egg recipes out there, but I just wanted to share Mama's. And I can't actually remember if she puts paprika on hers or not. I just know we've always put paprika, so I put it on there, but I'm actually thinking she doesn't, so I might quit doing that. Plus, I always put too much. So there you go. See, you just swirl in your egg yolks back into your eggs. I use those china platters that you get during the holidays, especially if I'm serving these within a couple hours or so. I will use one of those because it holds quite a lot of eggs without having to have an extra dish that holds eggs all pretty, because that takes up a lot of room. And we live in this little condo, so it's better just to use something like this. And then I got a nifty little way you can store these away to where the tops don't get messed up, and I'll show you that toward the end of the video. So you continue to fill your eggs up. Make sure to push down that egg yolk so you're not wasting that much of it. You should have enough to fill all of them up to where it has like a little nice scoop of ice cream looking on top there. Go. And our last one. Look at that. Just enough. Now, you can give that back to your kids and let them lick all of it out, but I just tossed mine in the trash. So I'm using this little strainer I have to kind of put on my paprika. And right away, oof, some of those eggs got way too much paprika on them. So usually I will take my fingers and just pinch it on, and I advise that if you're using it, just pinch it on with your fingers. It'll be way better. So we're going to go ahead and test one of these out before we store them away. I'll show you what they look like when you cut it in half. And like I said, they're sweet and creamy. And you definitely want to use the Miracle Whip, because Miracle Whip makes it. Mayo does not. So you put another one of the chinettes on top to store. And you get yourself a couple of little bag clips. I'll show you here. I put one on each end, just like that, and stick it in my refrigerator. And it doesn't come apart, and it keeps the tops from getting messed up, and then I can just serve it onto my table. And there you go. That's Mama's Halö eggs. I hope you like them, and stay tuned to the end for beautiful photos of our Mama.
Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. Proverbs chapter 31, verses 25 and 26.